Yes, guys, it is still possible to win 500 XRP. And all that you have to do to enter is make sure you press the like button on this video, are subscribed with the notification bell on, and you have commented something down below, like for example, your favorite crypto. Put it in the comment box, as your comment is going to be your entry ticket. If we hit 2K likes today, guys, we will give it away, so make sure you smash that like button. And now today, I want to talk about an issue that I've seen get bigger and bigger and bigger over the last couple of months, but specifically here the last couple of weeks. I think it has a lot to do with the tension over in the US, but it's actually not an issue from only the US, but really all around the world. And it is about retiring, and more specifically, retiring early. Here's an article. Canadians being forced to retire early face challenging ramifications. And I have quite a lot of these articles, right? I have quite a lot of articles that are a little bit alike to this type of stuff because I think a lot of people are wondering about their retirement right now. Here it says, pandemic forces early retirement in over 50s. And here another one was, is 55 too early to retire? Well, today I want to dive a little bit deeper into that because I think it's going to be pretty simple to retire if you're holding crypto. And I think a lot of the people in this space holding crypto right now actually have the goal of being able to retire with said crypto. You know, not just some small goal of just being in here, not doing too much. No, I think they have a goal of really getting out of the normal 9-to-5 circle and just becoming financially free, which, my XRP or some other coin might be the only option they got for that type of stuff, which is something I really, really admire, because putting that much faith into XRP or crypto is something that really, takes a lot of will. Now, before we get into it, though, this is not financial advice. Just so you guys know, this is just a random guy on the internet talking about some random stuff. So take it as fun purposes, entertainment, and, just take it as that at most. All right? That's all. Having said that, though, I want to share this retirement document with you guys, but I don't know where to do that. I think I can just do it in my Discord, but every time I think about that, I'm like, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, because I actually want to, work it out further. And if people download it right now, then it's kind of gone, right? The retirement plan is kind of faded already then, and it just becomes a normal paper I hand out. Now I want to kind of work on that so I can give you guys a whole real plan instead of just half-assed stuff, because basically this guide here has a lot of really interesting points, but it is not by far complete. And one of the main reasons for that is issues like, is 55 too early to retire? You might be having that question exactly, and the retirement plan does not have that yet. And my answer to is 55 too early to retire basically come down to a couple of points. And here they're saying top 5 challenges to it, and that's basically just, about all the benefits that your work has been giving you and how much you've deposited and all of that, which is really the truth, all right? And here are the top 5 challenges to retiring early, then I guess the age in your country. Generating income before you can take money from your IRAs. That might be very difficult. Strict rules about 401k and IRA withdrawals at age 55. Social Security eligibility doesn't start until 62. Paying for health insurance before Medicare eligibility begins at 65. And tapping your savings earlier while shortening your saving years and extending how long the money needs to last is a challenge because it will be a lot less. All right, and my thoughts about this is the biggest challenge surrounding it all is just how are you going to plan everything out? Because it just depends a little bit about whether you have done something with your work, where they match something or not, and what type of account you have put it into. Because here in Europe, and specifically in the Netherlands, it will work quite a little bit differently than over in America, right? Because, for example, health insurance and all of that, it just works completely differently, all right? Also in Belgium, also in different countries here in Europe, it works differently because a lot of it is free or very, very cheap. All right, in some countries it's free, in some countries it's just very, very dirt cheap, where you don't really have to save or think about it too much because you'll get it anyway, right? The US is a very, very bad example of that because it's just very, very expensive. Having said that, though, I think one of the good parts about retiring so early, and by the way, if the computer is acting up, it's most likely because it's so freaking hot inside. I'm sweating my ass off because it's just crazy warm. All right, my fingers are almost sweating touching the laptop, and I don't know how to stop it from heating up because, again, it's a piece of crap. Don't know what to say about it. Just MacBook Pro, never buy that stuff. It's the worst investment I've ever done. It's literally the worst thing I've ever bought in my life. It's ridiculously bad, but all right. Having said that, though, having my bad words about Apple, it's just a little bit of a feedback. It's stop loading for a little second. It's also something that I think a lot of people aspire to because it's just getting out of your 9 to 5 circle a little bit earlier. And I can understand why that's so nice and such a nice future plan, because otherwise you might have to work another 10 or so years, right? Which is just very, very annoying. But through some smart investments, like for example going for XRP and following the plan, it might actually be possible, right? And you might be wondering now, what's the plan and what's inside there? Well, it basically has a couple of points, because you have to have a little bit of inside knowledge before you should actually be thinking about retiring, and before you should actually be thinking about early retirement. That's more prominent right there. And that is, for example, do you have a retirement goal? Very important. Do you have a certain amount of money that you want to get to? All right. It's very, very important that you have at least that. And I just looked up an article on Fox Business, I guess, and it says here, Americans think it will take $1.9 million to retire. Are they right? You may be able to live well as a senior on much less than the typical retiree. And basically the article here is going to dive a little bit deeper into all of that. The average senior today collects about 100 or 18,000 a year in Social Security. Now, say you manage to sock away 950K, half of 1.9 million, and that you withdraw from your savings at an annual rate of 4%. That'll give you a total of 56,000 a year in income, and that's not terrible if your home is paid off. You settle down someplace where the cost of living is reasonable, and you're not planning to spend your senior years trotting the globe. Well, in my opinion, guys, 56,000 a year is a huge sum of money, all right? I actually know more people that don't earn that than do earn that. I'm not even talking about people who have retired, right? I'm talking about people who just work every single freaking day, right? Or at least 5 days a week. $56,000 is a huge sum of money. So I find it interesting how they talk about that and, you know, have their own thoughts. But basically my thought about it is, right, we're going to have to go for a strategy if you want to retire with a little money, and if you don't take into consideration a lot of this extra money that you might be getting, like for example here, Social Security. If you don't think about that type of stuff, because again, maybe your situation in your country is different, and I can't, you know, smell for you how much you're going to be getting, because really it depends on a lot of different factors. You would have to go for at least $1 million. And why would I say $1 million? Well, it depends on the country, whatever, but US, Europe, you know, the more developed parts of Asia, I would say $1 million is going to get you very, very far. And you have a lot of years to amass that money or to get that money, because from that point on forward, you're kind of done if you really wanted to, right? You could just quit your 9 to 5 job and most likely live completely, you know, mind-free. However, there's a couple things you need to worry about. And basically it was in the Business Insider article here where it just explains exactly how you can retire at that much money. And that is basically, you got to get yourself at least an annual return of 4%. In this article, they say about 7% is what you should be getting yourself, somewhere at the bottom or at the middle, right here. And your invested savings generate an annual 7% return. Basically, all of that, in this case here, actually, they're giving a little bit of advice as well. Thankfully, that may be more doable than you think, again, getting to that $1.9 million mark. If you manage to set aside $800 a month or just under $10,000 a year for retirement over a 40-year time frame, and your invested savings generate an annual return, 7% return on investment, which is a few percentage points below the stock market's average, then you stand to retire with just over $1.9 million, right? But that's if you want to retire in 40 years. We don't want that. We want to retire right now. So how doable is that? Well, following the plan, you need $1 million, right? And from that point forward, you just go for a safe bet. And the reason I'm not saying you go for crypto once you have that million, right? The million is going to be achieved in crypto, but after that, you're going to take it out because you want to be safe, all right? You're going to either go for some bonds, or at least a percentage in bonds, and a good percentage in maybe just the US market, or maybe diversify to some emerging markets as well. Maybe some crypto still, but a smaller part because it's so quote unquote risky for the short term and you don't want that. Maybe it's a long-term game, but since you want to retire, you want some stability in your life as well. So maybe a full crypto portfolio might not work out too well. But again, keep in mind, this $1 million is going to be achieved by holding crypto. Do not forget that. However, once you are there, you're going to have to go for something which gives you at least 7%. And the main reason behind that is all the amounts of money, right, in the world, starting from 1 million, will pull you through if you just have some normal living expenses, because really it's going to get you $3,500 a month at $40,000 a year, which I believe I know for certain every country in the world will get you by. You'll be fine with $3,500 a month or $40,000 a year in every single country in the world. Yeah, for sure. It might be a little bit hard in some countries. I don't know which one because I can't name one. Might be a little bit more difficult than in some others. Like, for example, if you want to go to Somalia, it might be a lot more than if you go to Switzerland. However, it's about the idea. It's possible. And basically, you want to go invest it so that you get at least a 7% return, 4% for the withdrawal, 1% for the increase in money every time, and 2% to match inflation. And in that case, your money is always going up. Every single year you get more, and every single year you're doing better. And also that 3% is also sort of there to make sure that you in rough times are still able to withdraw 40,000 because maybe the stock market's not going to give you the return that you would like. And that's also why preferably you're going to go for something with like an 8.5 to 10% return. Because from that point on forward, right, you only have to withdraw 4%. So if you match inflation with 2%, you also have another 4% to stack on top of it, which you could use for the next year. And if you have 10 years of positive market movement, you have saved up another 10 years, no, actually 11 years, I would say, in just saving up now, which can survive you then another big crash, which might take another 10 years to recover from, who knows. But yeah, that's the bigger idea here. Now, I got a couple more articles. This one was 3 reasons not to retire in 2020, and it's actually blocked in the EU, and I didn't put on the VPN. Well, basically, that one was more so talking in the broader theory about why you should not be going into retiring, like the title said. And a couple of reasons for that is, like said in this article right here, it's very difficult. No, it's the other. Which one article was it now? It was this article. No, I don't know which one of the articles it was. It was one of these. And I guess I lost it now. It's one of these ones. And basically what it was saying was that it's a lot more difficult to retire early because, understandably, you're going to have to, do with the same amount of money a lot longer. And most likely even you have to start at an early age so you have less time to save. I'm kind of, where the frig did the article go? I don't know. Maybe it just got blocked right now. Maybe it was under one of these ones where it just got blocked now. I think it might have been this one. Very, very strange, guys. Indeed, very, very strange. But again, the point I just mentioned to you guys is that you might have to do a lot longer with the same amount of money. However, following our strategy, it really does not matter that much. So why should you not be retiring? Well, there's no reason to not retire unless you are uncertain of your 4% a year. All right. If you don't know how to make 4% a year, then you should not be going for it because it's going to be very, very difficult. And if you only want to retire, right, without having to invest anything at all, you just want to spend the money, then I don't have the perfect guide for you because it's going to be very, very difficult. But the guide also, of course, includes how much XRP you should be having to retire, fit in a nice little spreadsheet with the simplest calculations. You can just copy them from the board right now. C2 times C3, C8 over C9, and C14 over C15. Just put it in yourself, right? It's just the orange ones. This one times each other. This one's divided by each other. Oh, I just accidentally got rid of it. And in this case here, it's in the division. It's so simple, but okay. And basically what it says here is you got to have a amount of money you want to have. You've got to have an XRP price prediction and your amount of XRP. And this is basically to get to this retirement goal of yours or to understand how much you're going to need to retire. Not to do once you've retired already, which is get yourself a certain amount of return and make sure your debt is all gone as soon as possible, which makes a lot of sense to me, but not to some others. And again, just take a little bit of a look, put some numbers in. If you want to retire with $1 million and you think XRP is going to go to $22.36 a coin, you're only going to need $44,000 XRP to retire, which might be a lot to you right now, but it's only about, let's say, $13,000, let's say $15,000, not even, right? And $15,000 to retire is not that much. And I think a lot of people who are thinking about retiring really, really early here at least have some investment in crypto. Otherwise, you might be thinking about it, but it's not really like a realistic thought. If you only have $100 invested in crypto, don't expect to make $1 million off that. Might happen, but don't expect it because, well, that would be a pretty off chance, all right? Honestly speaking. If you have like 10K, maybe 5 to 10, maybe the 20,000 invested, you're really looking at a good spot at really retiring with the stuff that you have in it right now, right? I'm really seeing some good chances with that, and that's why I'm encouraging you guys as well to take some looks at this. Because I've said before, not having a retirement plan can be one of your worst decisions in your life. And the main reason for that is the XRP price goes up and goes down. It will happen like that forever and ever and ever. And if you have no retirement plan, you have no idea when to get out. You're also not going to make these cash out points that I made somewhere. Let's see exactly where I put it. I put it right here. You need some cash out prices where you're going to cash out at least a couple of XRP or some coins to make sure that you're in a good position, to make sure that you really become wealthy off of XRP price increases, rather than just always, having a lot of money in XRP, but never really being rich or never really enjoying the money that you have. It's like, for example, Jeff Bezos, if he were to never cash out something and Amazon were to disappear right now, he might be very freaking poor, all right, had he not invested in other things. It's about the idea, right? He has so much money in Amazon stock that he just has to sell sometimes. Otherwise, he's not really that rich, all right? And there most likely are quite a lot of people that have a lot more money in the bank than Jeff Bezos does, even though that kind of sounds strange because he is worth so much money, right? Yeah, well, he's worth that, but he doesn't have that technically. It's worth that on paper. Same for my dollar amounts in crypto. I'm worth that, yes, but it doesn't mean I really have that, all right? If I wanted to cash it out, it will most likely become a little bit less. And also, if I had that, I wouldn't really be invested anymore, and I would all of a sudden not be wealthy anymore, in my opinion, but really just, I guess, the normal rich, if it were to be a lot of money. You guys get me on that one, Because right now, you don't really have investments anymore. You don't have anything that's making you money anymore. You just have fiat. And as you guys know, fiat is not in a very good position right now, so I'm really not I'm not planning on holding that too much. I'm really not looking forward to that. Same for these retirement accounts. I'm not really a fan of that too much. I'm like, it's crypto or nothing. I'm going to just get rich off of crypto and then retire with that, or maybe some other, cooler investment project, but definitely not a 401k or an IRA or things like that, because it doesn't really appeal to me too much since I don't trust the system. And that's also one of the biggest doubts I have when you have your $1 million about what exactly to invest it in, which can get you this market return. All right, because we often theorize about the markets falling down. That made me also wonder about whether or not we should go for that if things were to hit the fan. But yeah, that's still something that's really lurking in my mind, but I don't have an official answer to, as we don't know how far it will crash, and we don't know how long it will last. Like, if the system crashes, will it be forever? Or will it just be for another 10 years or so and then recover? Because maybe US stocks are still going to be your best option, but that's also dependent on the US-China war that's going on right now. Again, from that point forward, we can tell you guys more about what exactly to put your money in. We know it has to be a little bit safer than crypto, though, but not as safe as just bonds, because then you won't have the return. So yeah, we gotta look for something right there. But guys, it is so hot. It is so ridiculously hot. I'm sweating my ass off. So I'm gonna leave it here for you guys today. Hopefully you got some more ideas about retiring and making sure that you cash some out at different prices, maybe at $5, maybe all-time high. Just cash some dollars out so you at least can live your life happier and not be full of regret by not cashing out a single dollar. Again, you don't have to do it now, but at least one point in the future. Note them down right now. Write them on paper so you know and you don't go astray from it. Thank you all, and I'll see you again in another crypto video. Take care, guys. Have a very, very nice day, and definitely enjoy your week.